Good morning and welcome to Wednesday's Early Morning Intuitive Guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, here with some words of wisdom to get you thinking and feeling and rolling forward in your life. And today we have a little chapter from Outrageous Openness by Tosha Silver, which all of you know is one of my favorite books of all time. It's a little mini Bible that kind of gives me guidance. Good morning, Joe Neal. Welcome, welcome. I saw your little video clip. Very cool, very cool. So the subtitle of Outrageous Openness is Letting the Divine Take the Lead. The gist being, when we stop trying to force things to happen, they can actually happen. They can unfold. Good morning, Abigail. Glad you are here. Welcome, welcome. And if I sound a little stuffy, it's because right before I hit the go live button, I sneezed. I'm all stuffed up. So, two more other people have popped on. Oh, there's Gwen. Good morning. Welcome, welcome. No, names weren't rolling, so now it's starting to catch up. Zoom has its moments. It probably, or Zoom, Facebook has its moment. Probably hasn't had its coffee yet. So, good morning, Judy. Welcome, welcome. And thank you, everyone, for sunshine and rainbows and sunrises and hearts and all the good stuff you always post. I appreciate that. So, Tosha Silver, Outrageous Openness, Letting the Divine Take the Lead. So, let's do some breathing. Some nice deep belly breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Letting your shoulders drop in through the nose, out through the mouth. And I'm getting a hit. Let's do one round of tapping, no words, just clearing the slate, opening things up, getting everything ready to flow for the day. So, side of the hand. Good morning, Cindy. Welcome, welcome. I'd wave, but I'm tapping. So just the side of the hand. We aren't using any words today. We're just setting the intention. This opens us up. Good morning, Beth. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Opens us up to receiving the message for today. Inside corner of the eyebrows. Outside corner of the eye. Boy, are my fingers cold. Under the eye. Under the nose. Under the mouth. Collarbone. I like that one. That's a nice thump. Under the arms, like where your bra strap runs across. The monkey. And around the crown of your head. And another nice deep breath. Fully present, fully awake, ready to receive the message. So, for those of you who have the book, if your book is one of the ones that's numbered as mine is, it's page 40. And it's entitled, When You Know the One, Anything Can Come. Good morning, Angie. Welcome. We are doing Tosha Silver's Outrageous Openness, Letting the Divine Take the Lead. So, when you know the one, anything can come. The quote is by Florence Scovel Shinn, and if you haven't ever read her little book, I mean, she's from way back, but was very cutting edge in terms of her thought process. So, it's The Game of Life and How to Play It. Florence Scovel Shinn, Shinn. Her quote is, "There is a supply for every demand." So if you think you want it, somewhere out there, there's a supply. And it's an accessible supply. That's the gist of this whole chapter. And don't freak out about the word chapter. It's 2 pages. These are nice little bathroom readings. So I like holding the book in my hands, which is what I did today, asking what do we need to pay attention to right now, and then opening to a page and seeing what we get. So you can do that with any book you own, but it oftentimes will hit the nail right on the head for what it is that you need. All right? Good morning, good morning, good morning to everybody, especially if I missed any of you. So here we go. When you know the one, anything can come. Divine Source says that if we attune to the sublime level where all is one, our needs will be met in the perfect way. Notice it doesn't say our way, the perfect way. This is a polar opposite notion from how most people live, attaching to a particular situation like a barnacle to a boat, and sometimes a sinking one at that. It insists that even a terrific relationship or job is simply the transmitter the universe is using to bring us our good. So think about that. When you're asking for a particular something, Lord, let me get this particular job, or let me date that particular person, or let me buy that particular thing, we're really functioning at that lower level, that 3D earthbound level. Above that level is the concept of, I get what I need. I get what I need. All of these other things are just the expressions of, I get what I need, right? So, and we can get in the way. We can block what we need with our thoughts, with our actions, all kinds of things. If we believe I don't deserve, it probably ain't coming your way. Or it comes your way and it shoots right on past, or you only hang on to it for a short period of time. That's the stuff that we're working to clear up. Those old beliefs. Good morning, Jobel. Glad you are here. Those old beliefs about I don't deserve, I'm not good enough, it'll never happen for me, who do I think I am to want this, blah, blah, blah. All that garbage, all right? We're not going to waste our time on garbage. So the idea is we attune to that level where all of our needs are met in the perfect way. And I'd kind of put capital P there, the perfect way. Not our way, not how we think it ought to go, because we're imperfect humans, right? Divinely perfect, but humanly flawed. That's the way I like to think about it. So, this insists that even a terrific relationship or job is simply the transmitter the universe is using to bring us our good. So we're better off just asking for our good. Okay, universe, bring me my good. I'm open to receiving. Once you anchor in this awareness, you can stop gripping, hanging on to things so tightly. And again, we've talked about this. The irony of hanging on tightly is the tighter you hang on, the more out of control you feel. That song, hold on loosely, but don't let go. If you cling too tightly, you're going to lose control. Spot on. Spot on. So hold on loosely. I think this is what I want. I think this is the thing that will manifest, it'll be the manifestation of my good coming to me. Oops, it left. Okay, that must not be the one. You'll know you'll always be provided what you need at the right time in the right way. What needs to stay, stays. What needs to go, goes. You're an open vessel. It flows right through. So one of the concepts that kind of fits for this, I took from my Mary Kay training quite a few years ago, where Mary Kay said, your business is like a bathtub. Have the spigots open. You're bringing in all kinds of new business. Have the drain open also. You're flushing out what isn't serving you, what doesn't work. Maybe you've tried doing your sales this way and it's not flying. Flush that down. Maybe you have someone who keeps saying, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do it. Let it go. Let it go. You don't need to demand that anybody do anything in a particular way because it's supposed to come to you in the perfect way. Allow the universe to show you that perfect way. You don't have to make it happen, all right? This awareness simply takes practice, since our crazy culture warns forbiddingly that you will lose what you don't clutch. The opposite is actually, and she says that. Actually, it is just the opposite. So here's one of her little stories that she shares that makes her point. And I like this one because I certainly have done this. Fixated my eyes on something as being the answer, and therefore getting in the way of the real answer, the perfect answer coming my way. So here's the story. My musician friend Scott was emailed by a guitar player named Joan, whose work he liked. She wanted marketing advice. Scott was happy to help. Then he realized Joan knew someone that he wished to reach. So Scott wrote back and asked if she would introduce him. Joan shot back, sorry, too busy. Scott ran over to see me, red-faced and furious, because he now had an expectation. She did not meet his expectation, right? Those expectations, if you read Byron Katie's Loving What Is, she makes it clear that expectations are killer. They set us up. Especially, it's not that we can't have the expectation that all of our good comes to us. It's when we start locking in the details of how we think it ought to come to us that we set ourselves up to be miserable. Okay? I can only be happy if he's the one who loves me. Yeah, right. Okay, so here's her response to Scott when he runs over and he's all pissed off. Okay, look, I said. You originally didn't help Joan to get anything yourself. You did it to be nice, and there's nothing you need from her if the divine is in charge. Perhaps she's just too competitive to share. But, listen, if you're meant to make this contact, you'll be guided in the right way at the right time. Good morning, Becky. Glad you are here. Welcome. You'll be guided in the right way at the right time. Joan is sure as heck not your source. She slammed that door pretty tightly, right? Don't waste your time looking at the closed door. Next. All right? Joan sure as heck is not your source. And hey, let go of resentment toward her or it will block the flow. How many of us are great at resentment? We could get a gold medal in resentment. Yep. Not helpful. Not helpful. We think it is, but it's not. Scott grudgingly agreed, rolling his eyes. He called a week later, hooping and hollering. He had just gone to a club in the Castro where he had randomly met a guy who turned out to be close to the person he wanted to reach. They were all meeting for a drink the following night. So it worked itself out. In our lives, stuff works itself out. I want you to think back. How many, over the course of your lifetime, now I've been around 62 years, in the course of my lifetime, how many times have I gotten all wound around my axle about something, insisting that it go a certain way, or being stuck in a problem? There's no solution for this. It's never going to get better, blah, blah, blah. How many times? Give me an estimate. Estimate low. You're still going to be horrified, right? How many of those things are still an issue in your life? Most of it has moved through. It's passed. It's resolved itself. That's one of the reasons that old saw about sleep on it is such a good thing. Because while we're sleeping, we get out of our own way and our brain is working on answers and the universe can intervene and go, try this one. And we have a result. It works out just fine. Or we need something, and I've told this story a bazillion times, but it's such a good one. I went to a conference on Hilton Head Island off South Carolina, and I was hell-bent on this. There was one speaker I wanted to hear. There were lots of sessions, and you picked your sessions ahead of time, and then when you got there, you found the right room, and just went from session to session, blah, blah. Well, I ended up being late. Good morning, Linda. And those of you who know me know how much I hate being late. I'm the 10-minute early girl. I want to be the first one sitting in the room waiting. Good morning, Sue. Glad you are here. So I was already frazzled because I was running late. I was dependent on someone else to drive, and they're not an early bird. So I was late. I go running over to the room where I'm supposed to be, and the door closes. And they won't let anybody else in. And I was pissed. That's the whole reason I had gone to this conference in the first place, was to hear this one particular speaker. And now I couldn't. So I stomped around mad for a little bit, and then I saw that there was a different conference room, and the door was still open. And I thought, well, what the hell? I'm here. I paid good money. I might as well go. Being a crab ass. Good morning, Mel. Glad you're here. Sat down in the room. There were quite a few people in the room. And a very unassuming man comes walking in. He's like 10 minutes late in my book. He's native. He's right on time in his book. So he goes up the steps and he stands at the podium and he's got on a Mr. Rogers sweater. And so I instantly liked him. And he's talking and he's kind of, you could feel he was feeling the energy of the crowd. Oh, feel free to borrow, Cindy. Feel free to borrow. And he said, I'm getting the feeling that we need to have a healing on the beach tonight. How cool is this, right? And he goes, but my luggage didn't make it here. I came here, my luggage went elsewhere. It's having a better vacation than I am, kind of a deal. So he said, so I don't have my drums. And someone in the crowd yelled, I have drums. And I don't have my sacred tobacco. Someone else yells, I have tobacco. By the time the conversation was done, everything that was necessary was present. And we met at the beach that night, and it was magical. Magical. Now, if I had gone to the other speaker, the one that I thought I wanted to hear, the one I thought was going to give me my answers, ha ha ha, none of this would have unfolded. So when we can have something seemingly untoward happen, the door closes, and we go, oh, well, that's interesting. I wonder where I'm supposed to go instead. Listen within, follow the guidance, follow your sneakers wherever they take you, and be open to receiving what comes your way instead. Oftentimes, we can have a plan that we've got locked in that's going to be exactly the way it ought to be. I'll give you another one. My life is replete with these stories, you guys. So I was in graduate school, and they had this barbaric practice. Good morning, Judy. Glad you're here. Where on one day, all of the graduate students who were about to graduate sat by the phone waiting for a phone call from their internship site, the one they had picked, the one they had prioritized. So it wasn't even like we could call them and say, hey, you're my number one choice, blah, blah. You could kind of play the system a little bit and give some institution a heads up that was the one you wanted. But, and I, being the workaholic that I was at that time, I'm a little less so now. Not totally, but a little less so. I believed that Tulane was my number one choice. That's where I wanted to go for my internship. And I had talked to the guy the day before, and he said, we take 4 students a year. You're number 5 on our list. We've never in our history had the top 4 all accept. So you're a shoo-in. Don't worry about it. So I'm thinking it's fine. When you're in graduate school, you're doing therapy with people. So I had a whole day of clients scheduled. That morning, he calls me first thing and he says, I am so sorry. The top 4 took it. We've never had this happen. And I was 10 minutes out from starting a session with somebody. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do now? I mean, most of us had picked out 10 places and we had rank ordered, so my number 1 was now off but I hadn't really paid attention to my number 2 because I didn't think I was going to need it, right? So in the 10 minutes, I quick called the number 2 spot. You're not supposed to call them. They're supposed to call you. And I said, I'd really be interested in coming here. And he said, we never thought you'd come here. Let me see what I can do. So it was Milwaukee County Mental Health. You want trial by fire? Milwaukee County Mental Health. So he did his thing. I went and did my session. How I was even present, I have no idea. I probably wasn't overly present. I'm not sure that person got a great therapy session. But we were free, so, Then after the session, I called him back because, again, I had another session coming up. He wasn't going to be able to get a hold of me. And he said, you're good to go. Milwaukee County Mental Health, we're happy to have you, blah, blah. So, and that worked out amazingly. I met a group of people, there were 8 of us on internship, a group of people who were fabulous. I still keep in touch with some of them to this day. But again, another one of those things where I had my brain fixed on, this is how it's supposed to go, and then it got messed up. But at least I was with it enough to say, okay, I better drum up a plan B pretty darn quick here. And it unfolded. So, how about for you? I bet you all can come up with stories that are comparable, where you thought for sure should be this. You thought that first husband you married was the bee's knees. Now you're married to husband 2, and he's like the bomb, right? When we get stuck on, this is the one that's got to be exactly the way, we don't pay attention to the cues that, maybe this isn't the one. Maybe I goofed this up. Maybe those were my training wheels, and now I'm ready for the big girl bike. So, your mission for today, should you choose to accept it, is I want you practicing that opposite. Rather than believing this is how it has to go and I need to be focused on the specifics of exactly how this thing is supposed to turn out, let go of that for now. Let go of that 3D earth-based point of view. Shift into a higher level where you know that your wants and your needs are taken care of in divine right order and divine right timing. The perfect solution is already selected for you. It's on its way to you. It will arrive in divine right order and divine right timing. I want you practicing that. I want you practicing your belief about that. So I'll give you one last example before I turn you loose for the day to go deal with our world. My sister has been unemployed for a year, applying for over 100 jobs, right? Having job interviews where they go through, the worst one I think was 6 rounds of interviewing, and then they turned her down. How do you stay engaged and doing this thing, right? So we were doing some practicing on things, letting go of particular outcomes, opening to allowing what's divinely right to flow in. I had another little trick up my sleeve that I was going to use for her, and she got a job. So she starts in March. And the trick I was going to use was, since she wasn't getting unemployment anyway, because she had been a contractor, not an employee, so you don't get unemployment. So since she wasn't getting unemployment anyway, my thought was, for 1 week, just a week, then you can go back to railing against the machine like you've been doing, but for 1 week, I want you to go out and every day you apply for at least one job that you would like. You pay no attention to the salary, you pay no attention to any of the other details. If it looks like fun, that's what you're signing up for. 1 week, so 7 jobs that you're going to apply for, and you're not applying for anything else that week. You're just applying for the stuff that looks like fun, okay? The purpose for that is to pop her out of the mindset of, this is drudgery. I have to drag myself through this. Yes, she got a job. She's all excited. So, and mindset is everything, right? So I wonder if this is going to be the one. I wonder if that's going to be the one. And you approach it from this really excited kind of perspective. Think about little kids. When they see stuff, you hand them something. You hand them a rock and they go, oh, and they're all excited. We need that. We need to recapture that excitement, all right? It's out there. It's out there. We've got on our shit-colored lenses. We need to clean them off, and we need to see that there are things out there that are, inspiring, all right? So your mission for today, again, is just going with that energy of the divine right answer's already selected. It's coming to me in divine right order and timing. I'm so happy and grateful now that this is the case. Live from that energy. Try it on. Play it out over and over. Tell a friend, and you two can do it together. So when one of you starts getting a little dumpy with your comments, the other one can say, divine right timing and divine right order works for me. Yay! Do a little cheerleading dance. I don't care. Get your energy up around whatever it is that you're wanting to feel fed in. Whatever it is. New job, new partner, new car, new whatever. Oh, good. I'm glad it hit the spot, Judy. That's fabulous. Good, good, good. Breathe into it. Do a little victory dance. If you like writing, if you're a writer, I love the Jim Rohn prompt. I'm so happy and grateful now that. I'm so happy and grateful now that. And write out a whole script of how things will be when they're right as you'd like them to be. Write it out. Put it down. And then bless it on its way. Let it go. Have an awesome Wednesday, y'all. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are, including getting out of your own way so that divine right timing and divine right order can flow. Bye-bye.